My name is Giovanna Carugno and I am Professor of Music History Pedagogy at the Conservatory Agostino Steffani in Castelfranco Veneto. I am very pleased to participate in the Future of Education conference and honored to present my research on pre-service music teachers' education and training in the Italian context, changes and challenges from a legislative perspective. The legislative framework on the initial training for music teachers in public schools within the Italian context is a very complex issue of current interest for both music educators and legal scholars. Indeed, the design of the initial training courses returns the legislative perspective on how to train teachers who wish to inspire young people through music. This is a crucial point which implies the consideration of various aspects encompassing the philosophical and education disputes on the nature of musical knowledge, practical or theoretical, and the social function that music plays within the society. Thus, the divide between music as a recreational activity or cultural and artistic enrichment strongly emerges. The teaching and learning of music at the public school level becomes a controversial and questioning topic which demands adequate scientific importance. In general terms, initial training is a necessary step to obtain a qualification for teaching music to students attending the secondary school of first and second grade. Music is taught by teachers specialized in this subject only at a secondary school level, and this is a particular detail of the Italian school system. In fact, at the kindergarten and the primary school, music education is taught by teachers with generic training, lacking specific music skills. The 5-year master program in Scienze della Formazione Primaria presents only 2 music courses. The secondary school of first grade is articulated in a general pathway in which music is taught for 2 hours per week, and in a music-oriented secondary school, Scuola Media Indirizzo Musicale, that offers musical instrument courses in addition to the lessons of musical literacy. The secondary school of second grade devoted to music is named Liceo Musicale Coreutico. The course of study is divided into 2 different sections, the music section and the dance section. The curriculum of the music section is directed toward the theoretical and practical learning of music, and it comprises the following subjects: performance and interpretation, theory, analysis and composition, history of music, laboratory of chamber music, music technology. Teaching music in secondary schools requires a master's degree issued by a state music conservatory or university. While conservatories focus on performance-based practice, university courses specialize in theory-based subjects. In both cases, these higher education institutions prepare the students to get access to their recruitment as music teachers in the public schools, with an important difference. In fact, only the conservatory courses provide a preparation in singing and in playing a musical instrument at a professional level. For this reason, to teach such practical subjects to students is necessary to obtain a second-level academic diploma, equivalent by law to a master's degree. This is an essential requirement, and a qualification for teaching is also needed. Pre-service training courses are included in this framework. First, the recruitment of music teachers was carried out through qualifying competition during the 90s. The winners were given not only the teaching qualification, but a permanent contract of employment in a public school. The Italian legislature pays a remarkable amount of attention to the initial teachers' training and establishes specialization schools for secondary teaching, so-called SIS. Relevant literature observes that, for the first time through a national law, initial teachers' training was structured on 3 pillars: subject-related knowledge, pedagogical and psychological expertise, and training experience at schools. SIS had some disadvantages, and for this reason it would have been useful to enhance some aspects, such as the provision of a greater connection between the school environment and the upgrading of teaching skills. SIS was opened to those candidates that passed a competitive examination. The training course included various activities in the psycho-pedagogical and methodological educational fields and 300 hours of teaching internship. By passing the double final exam, written and oral, the candidate gained access to provincial permanent lists, graduatorie a esaurimento, from which the Ministry of Education, University and Research draws for the 50% of the available teaching jobs in the territory. SIS courses were carried out over 2-year cycles between the academic years 1919, 2000 and 2008-2009. The courses were offered at the university level in the context of the musicology and performing arts departments. The main difficulties and uncertainties of SIS in the music area involved the contiguity of the subject matter with the scope of music conservatories. In 2002, the legislature approved an amendment to Art 4, paragraph 2 of the decree containing the reform of the AFAM Institute, recognizing the 4-year diploma in music education issued by the conservatories as an habilitation qualification for the teaching of music in schools and for admission to the related competitions at the national level. Through the decree of the Minister of Education, University and Research 137 of September 2007, the course of music education was redefined through the establishment of a 2-year course with a didactic focus, whose final exam has qualifying value. It was also granted the possibility to each conservatory to activate additional courses for music instrument competition classes, equally with qualifying value for teaching in secondary schools. In this context, from the school year 2007-2008, at the conservatories were instituted biannual courses named B4DOC. These courses aimed at training music teachers in music instrument competition classes and were regulated by the Ministerial Decree number 137 of the 2007. Thereafter, the SIS were replaced by a 1-year course known as TFA, Tirocinio Formativo Attivo. This legislative development occurred with the enactment of Ministerial Decree number 249 of the 2010. At the same time, 3 years later, were established the PAS, reserved to teachers with a working experience of at least 180 hours for 3 different school years. The training path of PAS was similar to that of TFAs. The only substantial difference was the inexistence of a selection for the enrollment in the course. In recent times, the reform La Buona Scuola abolished the TFA and established the FIT, Initial Training and Internship. The pre-service training for music teachers consists in a short course in psycho-pedagogical subject, teaching methodologies and technologies. The enrollment in that course requires a master's degree in music. After completing this course, any music teacher should participate in a public competition based on qualification and examinations. Once past the competition, the music teacher should be admitted to the 3-year program of FIT. The legislative evolution shows the tendency at unifying initial teachers' training and process of recruitment as two sides of the same coin. As a result, the pedagogical literature underlines the inability of the current system to properly train teachers and to keep them to work in the school environment with music. A new scenario is represented by the entrance into force of Law No. 79 of the 2022, with the aim to train the teacher as one of the main goals of the mission Education and Research within the post-pandemic Italian Recovery and Resilience Plan. This reform provides an initial education for secondary school teachers through an habilitation pathway of 1 year administered by universities as conservatories. The course will be activated in line with the availability of music teaching jobs, and it will be concluded with passing a final test. When fully implemented, this will be the only route allowed for aspirants to obtain the teacher qualified status in different fields, including the music one. Thanks a lot for your attention and for listening. For any further information about this presentation, please feel free to contact me at the email address that you can find on this slide.